JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time, so I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
So far, it's been a showdown between two drivers. Bailey Turner, our previous season champion, and Jeff Wright, our season 1 champion. 3 races in, who's going to be the new driver in victory lane? Here, live tonight, the backstretch of Thunder Alley. Rockingham, North Carolina is the site for Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors. Live here on VSPEED. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and alongside me all season long, we've had Connor Horn. And Connor, 5 seasons in, you gotta wonder, are we gonna see our 4th champion of Saturday Night Race, our 5th champion of Saturday Night Racing League? We've had so much going on. I know that the Rockingham is kind of that asterisk in the season. It's a track that a lot of drivers don't favor, but it is a track that these cars dwelled on back in the past.
Yeah, this is kind of a classic race. This is one of the few races all season that you're going to see the tires really wear out, and you're going to see drivers dive to pit lane for the tires wearing out before they run out of fuel. That's the type of track that we have. Very bumpy racetrack. It's going to be all over the place racing. You're going to see drivers near the wall, drivers on the yellow line, but those tires, if you can save them, you're going to have a good time as long as we get long runs in. Fuel might be able to go to halfway, but the tires, that's going to be the big question. If they can make it to halfway, it'll be a one-stop, but I somehow doubt that. 1 mile racetrack, high banked, it's going to be very, very fast. Another reason why the tires were out so much, it's a worn-out surface and a very fast-paced racetrack, and it's going to be a challenge for all these drivers today.
And you can actually see here on the graphic how tight turns 1 and 2. It's kind of odd shape there on the backstretch. It's not directly straight. You come off of turn 2 and you kind of get shortcuts. So that's the part of the racetrack where we'll most likely see a lot of drivers hit that wall.
Yeah, turn 2, it's always been a trouble spot. Even, last time the Cup Series went here in 2004, we saw plenty of drivers off of turn 2 hit that wall. It's a very tight exit. If you're running the high side, you really got to get the nose pointed down to the bottom of the racetrack before your exit, or else you're going to hit that wall. You got to bounce right into traffic, hit the inside wall, come back up into traffic again. I mean, these drivers are going to have their hands full on fresh tires, let alone when the tires wear out. Later in the run, as we look at the point standings, like you've mentioned, it's Bailey Turner and Jeff Wright, both trying to become the first repeat champion in the series history. They're out ahead of Chuck Sweeting, who's had a good start to the year. 3rd in points for him. Hronis Shoemaker up there as well. Kenny Kibbe back in 9th. Joshua Banks back there in 10th, has work to do. Joes McWhorter, 11th for him. And there's a lot of drivers not even in the top 20 in points, like AJ Stravado, who's had some pretty poor luck to start the season. We'll get a clear picture in a few weeks' time once we have more races, but a lot of good starts for a lot of drivers. Matt Shinosky 6th, Ben Lafter 8th. Good starts for a lot of drivers in points.
Yeah, and also want to add to that, Joshua Banks has had phenomenal races. On top of that, you've had drivers like Bailey Turner and Jeff Wright just perform week after week. It's just one of those racetracks where if you can get the win, Joshua Banks is kind of favored. He had a really good performance here last season. I don't know who's going to come out on top, but it's going to be eventful to say the least. There's a race analysis up on your screen, but with that, it's time to take you trackside and get the grid up on your screen. Starting on the top position, it's a driver that Jeff Wright said is just around the corner of getting a victory. It's Dakota Floyd. Back-to-back season champion of the Challenger Series is going to start on the top spot at 24.614. Going to be 0.05 of a second just ahead of Jeff Wright in the number 48 for that top spot. Row number 2 belongs to our previous season champion, Bailey Turner. Josh Adams will start in 4th position in that top 5 with J.R. Shepard in the 98. Angelo Hronis to the outside there for row number 3. It's James Lehman and Joseph McWhorter starting in 7th and 8th in the top 10. Rounded out by Chad Klinger, Seth Hatchell. Shout out to the number 8.
And right behind them, good start to the season for Chuck Sweeting, starting in the 11th position. Nick Hapiak, the 06, starts 12th. Kenny Kibbe put a qualifying time down. He'll start 13th tonight alongside Jared Skinner in the 7. Caleb Weekly, the 13 car, will start 15th. Rob Hamp is going to start from pit lane, although he timed in 16th. Joshua Banks, a little further back than what he wanted, 17th position for him. Brian Chambliss, who won at Atlanta last season, in the 18th spot. And AJ Stravado had a rough start to the season and not a good qualifying effort. He's starting 19th alongside Reggie Ortega in the AC Delco. Monte Carlo starting 20th.
21st position is going to go to Donnie Kite, and Elliott Butler will start in 22nd. And you have 23rd position with Philip Brewer, winner at Iowa Speedway. Bryce Calusa electing not to take a time. He'll start in 24th position. 25th goes to Hunter Sr. A lot of drivers electing not to take times. Half this field with Bryce Shoemaker to the outside. That's Andrew Toganoff and Eddie Trejo, 27th and 28th. 30th position with Christopher Hodges. Brandon Wallace to the inside.
Anathian Farada, who was very fast last week at Auto Club, will start way at the back, 31st position. Matt Shinosky, who's top 10 in points, 32nd for him. Noah Mahalski, the 03, starting 33rd. Max Cost in the 34th position, still looking for that first career win. Kyle Taub, the 1 car, a little lagging a little bit right now. He'll start 35th. Ben Lafter, who's up, I believe we said 8th in points, 36th for him. John Sanu, the Ford Taurus, sponsored by Monster Energy, 37th for him. Austin Belke, 38th. And Keith Shoemaker, the last driver on the grid, starting 39th out of 39 cars tonight.
So week number 4 brings us to Rockingham. It's a hybrid racetrack of the intermediate ovals. It's steep banked, but it's also going to drive like a short track. And you love it or you hate it. We're going to find a new driver in Victory Lane. I have a very strong feeling that we're going to find a new name up here. But Dakota Floyd, the command car, as we get set to go green. Here we go. Week number 4, Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors. Cup Series into 1. And there's the 2 that have been duking it out since the beginning of season number 5. Race number 4 is not disappointing so far as the Lowe's Chevrolet and that Coca-Cola 24 with Bailey Turner to the inside. Jeff Wright led lap 1. Here it goes, Turner, tight off of 4.
They really want that track position. They want that clean air. And Bailey Turner, I think, realized it's a losing battle on that bottom side. Kind of backed off a little bit, gave Jeff Wright the spot. The top line's going to be preferred most of this race. You're going to want to be on the top of the racetrack. Very hard to make any leeway, any pass on the bottom of the racetrack. They're going to go down there for now. You might want to run down there just to keep the tires on them. But you want to be making passes. You want to be in the fast lane. You got to be pretty darn close to that outside wall. And it's going to be trouble out of turn 2, like we were mentioning, because that is the fast line. As Keith Shoemaker's already off track with front end damage. As we're still green and still battling for the lead and battling throughout the field. Look at this mess.
A bit of smoke on that backstretch. Not sure exactly where that happened. Christopher Hodges falls back to 30th there, deep in the field, side by side off of turn 4. I guess Turner didn't learn. He tried to go on the bottom again there, taking a stab at the lead. It seems to be working a little bit better through 1 and 2. Side by side again. Your pole sitter just behind him, creeping back into the picture.
Keith Shoemaker is the cause of that smoke. He is out of this race already, but, you know, clean air's still going to matter, and, you know, Bailey Turner doesn't want to sit in the dirty air. The 48 is just going to be peeking his nose to the inside just a little bit, just to get maybe a little bit cleaner air on that nose. Maybe it'll end up working for him. But right now, he's pretty committed to that bottom side, not following the 48, and he's really good through the center of 1 and 2, but he just can't maintain anything off the corner.
And maintaining, that's what it's all about here at Rockingham. Maintain your tires. So you see a little push up the corner there in 3 and 4. How much side by side can we handle coming out of turn 4? Here's some more just for the 10th position. Chad Klinger duking it out with Angelo Herodes. Nick Hapiak on the back end, now to the outside.
This is already a better start. Oh, we got a crash down the backstretch way at the back. And there's no
Wallace.
yellow. John Sanu as well. Looked like Kyle Taub has some damage from it as well, and there's no caution for it.
And the front end is completely missing off the front end of the 99. NASCAR would have threw a caution for debris. It was all over the backstretch. We'll back it up here and take a look at what happened.
These guys might get in the leader's way in a few laps as well because there wasn't a yellow. And now the caution's out. Just had a little bit of a skirmish out of 4, but doesn't look like anyone's too destroyed. Caution is out. Looks like Brandon Wallace got into a wall. Sanu had nowhere to go. Neither did the 1 of Taub. But live, we're under a yellow. Bryce Calusa has some damage, it looks like, and might be a few other drivers involved, but didn't look like it was as big of a crash.
So the one that throws the caution, Bryce Calusa.
Definitely got a piece of it.
Trying to find a number here.
20 car.
There we go.
Reggie Ortega's got some left rear damage. Maybe that tells the story. Ortega's pretty far away, so that they didn't come together. Ooh, Ortega got
sideways.
Is that Ray Massey? Ooh, Banks got a piece of it as well. Couldn't tell who that was who got into the bumper of Ortega. Ray Massey's not here tonight, so it was not Ray Massey. Sorry about that, Ray. Caleb Weekly?
13. Yep.
Sure is. Just booted him. Ortega tried to save it, couldn't. Banks got booted by the 33. That's where Calusa got his damage. That was not as big of a wreck as what we just saw. That didn't bring out the yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, below that yellow line right there, as you can see down the backstretch.
This is one of those tracks that is pretty old when it comes to iRacing standards. It is getting an art refresh in the latest build, the next build, but it's one of those tracks that's been on the surface a while. And usually tracks like that, if it's not on the racing surface, it's not going to be a yellow. It's kind of like Darlington, which that's the worst track for it because of how little racing surface there is at Darlington. But this is one of those tracks, if it's not on the track, you got to stay green. And that's going to be tough for a lot of drivers to deal with, especially the 86, the 1, and the 99 who got totaled from that crash.
So caution is out that early here as we look at Rockingham, and what a unique racetrack. It's such a shame. The amenities that racetracks provide now, and you've got an ever-growing world, Honor, that's just always expanding around places like this. It's good to see that, like North Wilkesboro, and I can name a few others, it is coming back.
This is definitely one of those tracks that I think most fans want back. It's maybe not in the most, most populated spot, but it was a pretty fun racetrack, and it's a great spot to watch a race. I went there in the spring for when they brought Xfinity and Truck and ARCA back for the first time, and well, for trucks it was the first time in like a decade, but for Xfinity it was the first time in 20 years, and it was a blast.
Back under green here with Jeff Wright. Bailey Turner on the outside, didn't get it going quite as quickly. Of course, with that jump, though, he's going to go to the inside, have his preferred line. He's going to get a little bit loose, tags the apron. Nicely executed, though. He's going to hang speed, and Dakota Floyd has his hands full with Josh Adams and the 73 of McWhorter on the back bumper of him.
That's one thing about running the bottom of the racetrack. You can paint that yellow line a little bit, but really, at both ends of the racetrack, you'd rather kind of hit the apex. You'd hit that yellow line on the entry to turn 1, let it drift up to the middle, and then hit the yellow line on the exit of turn 2. You don't really want to wrap that because of how tight the entry and exits of that end of the racetrack are. So it's very easy to hit the apron there as well. If you hit the apron, you're going to get sideways for sure, and you're going to have to hang on to it. But definitely have to do a little bit of a diamond and a double apex in 1 and 2 to be successful on the bottom. But that top side, just run the top and you'll be good. Jeff Wright looks like he's coming to that bottom line now.
Track will change as we put the weather up on your screen. 134 degrees. If 900 plus horsepower wasn't enough, let's heat the race surface up to half of the boiling point here.
That's what it felt like in the stands. My knees are still tan from that Rockingham event. Bring your sunblock, folks.
Yeah, it's boiling out here. It's very, very hot. I think an egg only needs to get up to 120 to be consumed. And you can fry it on this surface right now as we look at almost some 3 wide there. Adams, there's the 98 of J.R. Shepard, the 8 of Seth Hatchell. Good to see him back out on the racetrack. I hope we see a lot more of it.
Remember, it might be his first start of the season. I don't remember him making any starts yet in this series this season. Made a few last season. I remember one he had a good run going to Kentucky, but yeah, first start of the season, running pretty well up in the top 10. Whenever he shows up, he has speed, showing it tonight, even in a different car than what he's probably accustomed to driving after switching from the next gen, barely running races in that season, now in the Gen 4, completely different animal. He's still running pretty good, but he and Chad Klinger almost had it coming together there.
Deeper in this field, you've got cars behind Chris Hodges, Ben Laughter, Philip Brewer, winner at Iowa. Look at this off of turn 4.
This is what you're going to see in the back of the pack and in the mid-pack all night. Oh, spin right in front of him. It's Ortega again.
No,
Look out.
got it off the racetrack. Heads up there for Ortega. But he has damage on the back end.
You wonder if back end damage kind of hurt him a little bit, maybe caused this. Didn't look like he hit anything that time. Saw him get loose there, battling with Andrew Telkinoff. He didn't pit to repair damage either. A little loose, and I think he got a boot after getting sideways.
Yep. He had some help. Back it up one more time.
We might see everyone take their first set of tires this time. Got 5 extra sets in the pits per usual. Yep, sideways there, and 3 can't check up in time, and with a little boot. Not much that 3 could do. Brett Shoemaker almost had a bad night. Almost had an early exit there, as yep, here comes everyone in the pit lane just about. There's some staying out though.
So here's the thing right now, if you're Ortega, you're on a flip strategy. I think you have the damage, but this car is pretty resilient. I think it does well here with lack of downforce. I think I stay out here. I would flip the strategy. See him still out there on the racetrack.
He came down the pit before the pits opened, I believe. Wright's out first, then Turner, Floyd, McWhorter, Adams. Did have some people stay out. It didn't look like the 2. Yeah, 2 definitely pit before it was open, and he's ended up a lap down as a result of that. Oh, he's actually getting the wave by now. I guess he won't stay a lap down. Like Brian Chambliss is going to come down the pit a lap late. I think he missed a stall actually, but had about 5 cars stay out.
So lap 21, we're going to go back green on lap 22. It's Noah Michalski and Andrew Toganoff. The 0-3 and the number 3. At the 15, VRX of Christopher Hodges, Philip Brewer, Rob Hamp. Flips the strategy rather, in the favor of the top 4. Hamp also in that boat. Top 5. Don't know if it works out for these drivers. 21 laps compared to brand new tires. This is probably going to be quick work for Jeff Wright.
Yeah, about 15 laps of green flag running on the tires. The fall off was roughly 0.4 of a second. Most of these guys weren't running in the top 10 when that last yellow came out. But we'll see how well these 5 can hold on.
Here we go for our 3rd start of the day. Green flag is out. Back underway at Rockingham. Toganoff gets out to a big jump there on the high line. And now it's Noah Michalski trying to play defense.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time. He got up to the top of the racetrack. Jeff Wright getting blocked a little bit by Christopher Hodges. He's going to have to go
wide.
Middle for that 3rd position. He's going to get the 15 pass. There goes 3 wide. Michalski up the track. Here comes Brewer for position. Jeff Wright already up to 2nd, but good restart for Telkinoff. He got away from all that mess back there, and it's not done yet. Dakota Floyd and the 15 of Hodges almost had it coming together, and Bailey Turner's right in the middle of this.
Oh, car down the racetrack. That's the 09 of Chad Klinger.
Whoa, slider, Josh Adams in 3. And he somehow did not get hit into the perfect 360. Gosh. That was going to be the field.
How did he not get destroyed?
I cannot believe everyone missed him. He's spin in the middle of the pack here. There's a lot of lanes. Says he had contact there out of the corner. Could not see why Chad Klinger went to the apron, but it looks like he's trying to force 3 wide, and looks like him and Rob Hamp had contact, and it got the 6 loose. Wow, Elliot Butler did a great job avoiding, but that was really weird. It's like the contact between the 6 and the 4. It somehow got the 6 sideways when you would think it would be the 4.
Yeah, right? There's
That's
Klinger
not
going down the track.
iRacing physics are weird sometimes, but it's not the first time I've seen that.
And check up.
Woo.
Nice 360 there for the 6.
Someone might have gotten a piece of the 6 when spinning, but did not look like hard contact for whoever it was. But that worked out pretty well for Telganov. He got away. Everyone else who stayed out kind of had a rough time.
I gotta say that this race has already started out to be a little bit strange. You know, you've got 25 laps in. We're a sixth of the way through this race. Jeff Wright powers his way through. I think we're going to have multiple strategies by the end of this thing because so many drivers came down just a moment ago. You still have some of them that stayed out 15, 25 laps. It's really shaping up to be one of those races where we have to keep track of everyone's move and who's gonna gamble correctly.
Yeah, right now you got those guys who stayed out. Most of them, pretty much all of them, haven't pit yet. This is almost a one-stop regardless at this point. Definitely, can, like we said earlier, we can make it on fuel to halfway. Tires are a different story, and those guys who stay out, we get a run to about lap 70, lap 75. It might be a struggle for them to make it there, while these guys who did pit for their first set of tires, they should be able to get the tires to that one-stop window. But Telganov, 44, Philip Brewer, they're really the last ones left on this strategy now. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle for them. Everyone else who had stayed out came down the pit, which was Rob Hamp and Christopher Hodges. So we got kind of like 3 different strategies going right now, but majority of those guys on the main strategy put on around lap 21.
Rockingham, a difficult racetrack to get around right now. The traffic has been a factor. Pace car is off. Let's go back racing for Saturday Night Racing League. 4th restart of the day. Loganoff gets a really great jump there.
That 48 has that little bit of extra grip he needs. Get to the inside out of turn number 2. Should not be the hardest of passes, but it won't be too easy. Telganov's going to fight him.
It's a good fight off of turn 4. He's going to lead a lap. Oh, man, that was close.
I think 48. Well, I thought the 48 led that lap. It was 8 1,000ths of a second. The 48 led that lap by. Now he's clear once again for the race lead, and he's put distance on the 24. Bailey Turner not able to get through these guys quite like the 48 was able to. He's back to about 5th right now.
Side by side with James Lehman and the 75 of Chuck Sweeting. 3rd in points coming into tonight. Leader of the Challenger Series points and that number 75 all pink machine on board with him.
This is Lehman's first non-super speedway start of the season. He was here at Daytona, hasn't showed up since. He's back, always has speed in that 05. Philip Brewer, Chuck Sweeting at 75. Watermelon Mobile in the top 10, just like it has been a lot this season so far.
And if you want some other content, you can go on board with our series sponsor.
Oh,
that was a close one right there, just in front of Joshua Banks and then number 35. You can find him on YouTube right now. Can I Conquer the Rock? He is live.
he's live and he's going to work, and he has a lot of work to do. Remember, he was involved in, I guess, that first caution. He got a little bit of damage. Has not been able to get through the field quite yet. 24th place for him, and a lot of work to do to get to the front.
This is Banksy the iRacer. Got his hands full right now. Look at the focus. You see the OBS there on the right? I recognize that.
Not only do you recognize it, you're probably scarred by it.
Yeah, it's broken down on me a few times, but great job here for Banks trying to recover up to 23rd, side by side just behind Bryce Calusa. Josh Adams who did a 360 just a moment ago, and the 09 of Jack Klinger What a flip-flop here for a lot of these drivers that started up in the top 10.
There's a lot of flip-flopping going on right now, especially because those guys on old tires. The 3's back to 7th. He's got Jared Shepard and Seth Hatchell behind him. Philip Brewer's a little further back, holding up AJ Stravato, who probably is not in the mood to be getting held up for much longer at this rate. He's not had great luck to start this season, but at the front, it's getting testy. McWhorter has gotten up to 2nd. He's looking for the race lead to the inside, but like we've seen, that 48 can run that high line. He's able to defend up there, get a good run center exit, and he's able to pull any driver who goes down there so far. Now it's side by side for 2nd. It's almost like what we saw last week at Upper Club at the front with, if you make that pass, make that move to the inside and it doesn't work, you might lose that 2nd spot and you might lose more.
We saw it a lot there with Dakota Floyd just now. He lost 2 positions and he was just trying to work the 24 of Bailey Turner. The Capiak around.
Philip Brewer, I thought, was going around. He had a huge slide. Once again, he's one of those drivers on old tires, struggling. Back up. He's back to about the 16th position.
This is tight.
Ooh. The same thing Chad Klinger did. And now we got a yellow. It's in turn 1. Oh, we got a big pileup. Donnie Kite, Reggie Ortega. Bryce Calusa's in that. Looks like Ryan Chambliss and Max Cost. There's Ortega. That was his mangled car. There's Kite pulling a Kyle Busch. I think it's a perfect way of showing frustration when you start driving it backwards like that.
Well, he's in front of the pace car.
He's got a good view of the pace car driver. He doesn't want to get lapped by the pace car, though. So I think he realized that. He's like, okay, I'll drive forwards now. That's the second one that's happened during replay. What a shame. We'll get a replay of this one, though. Ooh. Is that teammates coming together?
I believe it is.
Oh gosh. God, Ortega came in there late. Looked like Ben Lafter got into the back of Bryce Calusa. Set that one off. I believe they're on their own Discord channel, so I'm sure that's not going over too well. As a matter of fact, it's just those two. It's never good.
Let's take a look at it from a different angle. There's a check up here.
Bryce Shoemaker a little slow. Looks like Calusa checked up very early because of the 54 slowing up, and Ben Lafter wasn't ready for it, and there was nowhere for any of these guys to go. Ortega kind of ran out of room himself. The track just got blocked pretty darn quickly.
This is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
He did pass the pace car doing this. Then eventually got to get it going the right way. Just get it right back going forward, get it in the first gear, and keep going. He did get stuck behind the pace car, so he is a lap down, but still plenty of time to go. And with the rate we're getting cautions, he certainly isn't out of it.
And that puts us back to square one.
It's actually get the wave around, so a little bit of good luck, but it's got a lot of damage that he's going to have to drive with. Had some split strategy. Obviously not everyone pit there, but did have a decent bit of guys come down and either repair damage or take a set. So like the first person out of pit lane was Telganov, who was on that different strategy. So we'll see how that works out. He'll have the fresher tires now.
Jeff Wright, Bailey Turner, and Joseph McWhorter. 3 of our 4 champions are up here in the top 3 for this restart. How about that?
One of them kind of needs a victory. McWhorter, it's been a while for him, and you know he's got the speed for it. He just needs a few things to go his way at some point. But that 48 and 24, they're the battle until further notice.
Back underway here at Rockingham. Jeff Wright out to a jump. It's that hole shot on the restart for the 48.
Oh, we got a spin. Someone crashed before we even got to turn 1. Brian Chambliss got turned. There's no yellow for that, though.
I'm not taking a replay. Last time it backfired.
Do a visual replay for that. There was a checkup on that restart, and it looked like Shinosky got into Chambliss. So 31 in the back of 9, spun to 9 out, no yellow for it. We're still green, still racing at the front of this field.
Riding on board there with AJ Stravado. He was battling for the 10th position, but now hemorrhages a couple spots. Still up 8. So we go back with Elliott Butler outside of Chad Klinger. The 09 trying to get back up to the front. Bottom of 1 and 2. It looks like it worked out.
Bryce Caluso's in that restart incident as well. He's actually now in pit lane. He's going to go number of more laps down, but Elliott Butler has some good short run speed every now and then. Hasn't had really much pace yet tonight that he's been able to show, because we really haven't had any long runs yet for him to show any speed. But 16th position, started 22nd, so he's climbed up through the field a little bit, trying to follow that 09 through the field, or at least follow 09 back up through the field, as he had a big wiggle off of turn number 2 that time. But the 09 having to recover after we saw him have that big moment right before the 6 of Josh Adams spun. He's back up to 15th. He's looking for 14th, 3 wide to the bottom. Not going to work there.
And that's the driver from Auto Club, the 9th Inferrada. We saw a lot of that in Auto Club. He just tagged the wall through 1 and 2. How many times did we see the 07 get up there and hit the fence?
Not enough time to destroy the car. He got caught up in a few other things, but wall riding just was not play at Auto Club, but it's still really the way you need to run this track if you want to keep track position. And if he can get to someone's right rear in the middle of the corner, he could probably make that even higher line work, but it's going to be tough to do, as Caleb Weekly I saw hit the wall at the back a little bit there. But at 07, he is moving. Like, he started 31st. He's one of our biggest movers tonight for sure. And you see right there, he's trying to get to the right rear of Seth Hatchell, but it's much easier to run out of room here than it is at Auto Club.
Making the Ford Taurus work hard. 29 of Angelo Horonis just behind that. 11th position on that higher line as well. It's grouped up back here around the 10th position.
All the action is pretty much 10th on back. 7 Jared Skinner on the apron. As those top 2 are kind of starting to scoot away a little bit from that battle for 3rd, just McWhorter, Dakota Floyd are in close quarters. Wright and Turner still keep going at it, but they're pulling away from McWhorter while doing it, while the action is really all over the racetrack. I mean, there's cars everywhere.
We wide just in front of Josh Adams, Jared Skinner, 35 on the bottom. Hogging off, picking up positions as well in the 3 car. He's on a flip strategy compared to everybody else. Look at him go.
Oh, Joshua Banks! Oh, is he going to save it? Not quite. He's under the line. It's not a caution. Now he's going to get back on track. Not yet. Still no caution. Now it's a caution. Not a good night for the 35 quite yet.
Well, the question was on the YouTube. I don't think it's, no. I don't think it is. Can I conquer the rock?
Still yet to be determined.
Yeah.
We got 100 laps left. It's nowhere near over, but he's still nursing some damage. Now he's going to have to repair even more damage, probably, as we might see majority of the field bring it in again. As I see what happened. He just got loose, and then Mahalski couldn't check up in time. He did a great job not pounding the inside wall. Mahalski did a good job getting it slowed up, and because of how this track works, the yellow doesn't trigger. He's trying to get it back going, and finally, with cars coming by, once he's trying to do a 180, the yellow finally comes out, but you can see how much left rear damage he got just from that tap from the 0-3.
This flips the strategy yet again to 6th of the race. Now down to 3rd.
1/3 of the race down. 2/3 to go.
Math always a strong suit here at VSPEED. As we see Jeff Wright pull into the stall.
Wonder if stall number 1 will be the strength for one of these drivers. I mean, Dakota Floyd, you know, if he just gets a decent enough pit stop, then number 1 stall could get him the lead. You think majority of the passes might happen on pit road? Floyd's not going to do anything. McWhorter almost got 2nd. A 24 Turner's going to keep it.
That's a close one.
Once again, more drivers staying out. 3 of Telganoff, 54 Shoemaker, and 03 Mahalski.
Don't go anywhere. We've got more coverage here at the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors from Rockingham right after this. Welcome in, everybody, for Saturday Night Racing League. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Again, well, thank you all for being here.
32 cars, green flag at Daytona. And it is a cluster back here for the 15th position. Bailey Turner lead him down.
Turner, Stravato, Jeff Wright. We see some lockup, big lockup. 3 wide per second. Sturgis clears all of them.
Comes down a little bit here in the entry of 1.
Porter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, he bumped in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash. Ray Massey's going to win it. Are you kidding me?
Back here live with our coverage and a little bit of a delay there, but man, they go back green here fast. If you're watching Jeff Wright challenge for the lead, Andrew Toganoff is 27 laps, or 16 laps rather, on this stint. He's up from 27th position, 25 spots gained for the 3 car, and we've had a lot of haymakers being thrown. Look back here, around 6th position.
Oh boy, yeah, we had a restart, all sorts of mess. We had the 09 and 33 ended up spinning on the apron, so they're at the back of the field. Nick Hapiak had a half spin, so he's a little further back than what we last saw. I believe Philip Brewer had some contact, and we just had more contact with J.R. Shepard. He almost wrecked that at turn number 4. I don't know how he saved that for Torres, but it's been a chaotic restart, to say the least, and that's why it looks as spread out as it does.
Shepard on the outside, and Kibbe now down the backstretch in 12th position. We just can't get enough camera angles to see all this action.
You have a slide like that, it's going to take you 5-10 laps to get the tires back under you. So that's something he's going to have to struggle to deal with, because he's having to get the tires back under him, and he's trying to keep some extra track position in that 11th position. It's not an easy task to complete.
Dougie Beard providing the cameras here tonight, doing a fantastic job as always, giving us the best view of everything on this racetrack. You look here with this Generation 4 stock car, there's so much going on these restarts, Connor, and with everybody in the top 5 being on different strategies, we come off 3 wide out of 2. It just doesn't quite work here at Rockingham. You can get away with it for maybe a couple tenths of a second, but you better figure it out before you hit 3.
I think 3 and 4 you can do 3 wide all right, because the exit of the corner is not as sharp, but if you try exit 3 wide out of turn number 2, you're going to wreck race cars. And We've already seen a bunch of wrecks out of turn 2. And really every part of the racetrack, I think, has seen an incident here and there, even the front straightaway. Last thing we're looking for is pit road, but hopefully we don't have that happen. But a little bit more spread out because of what we saw in the last restart. I think that's going to open some doors for some other drivers to start battling a little bit harder.
Deep in this field, AJ Servato, the luck continues. 31st position for the 33. Led some laps at Auto Club last week. Right now, just struggling to stay on the racetrack. It's been tough. Back here behind Eddie Trejo in 30th.
Like I mentioned, we didn't get to see it, but crash on the restart kind of caused all that. It wasn't really a crash because no one's out of the race because of it, but we had so much stacking up at the front of the field that Chuck Sweeting was a part of, and then the 06 got turned by the 8. The 09 and 33 came together, so I can't imagine Travad was too happy, but neither of these drivers, Jared Skinner, Bryce Shoemaker, almost came together into turn number 3.
Shoemaker on the outside now. Christopher Hodges, 16th position. We have more side by side with J.R. Shepard, Chuck Sweeting, Kenny Kibbe.
Ooh. It just seems like after 5-10 laps, everyone's tires are already just dying, and everyone's all over the place once those tires aren't fresh. And that's what everyone else is struggling with as well.
The 6 thought about making it 3 wide. He's still thinking about it.
Doesn't quite have the run. It's going to file into the bottom, just hoping for one of these drivers to sort it out past one another, and he could just go whichever lane's moving, but not quite the case.
There's clean air there in the middle, though. Sometimes you got to poke the nose in there, get a little bit on the front end. For Nick Hapiak right now in 18th, it's find one car to pass, not 2 at the same time.
Josh Adams kind of in the same deal, just trying to find a way back to the front after his spin. Had a lot of cars that have had issues tonight, and the 6 car is one of them. He's going to look to the inside of the 54. He's going to be able to get that spot. Shoemaker kind of lets him have it. That's for that 17th position, or 18th position, actually, as someone's smoking the pit road. That's Bryce Calusa's car smoking, but he's out of the race anyway, so I guess it's not a big deal as that 6 car trying to move back to the front of the field.
It's actually the 75 that we just jumped away, and the 75 of Chuck Sweeting off of turn 2, sideways. Let's get it back on the replay real quick.
Yeah, thankfully nothing of note happens during replays. Looked like the same thing that we saw a few drivers do. It's almost the same thing Joshua Banks did. The only difference was that no one was behind him to run in the back of him, so he's just going to lose a lot of positions, but at least for the time being hasn't spun around. Battle for the lead is heating up.
Here we go. Joseph McWhorter on the back end. Here's the 24 Bailey Turner. Top 3 pull away.
If it wasn't for different pit strategies under caution, this 48 would have led every lap up to this point. He's been hard to pass. I mean, we saw it last week once he got to the lead. It was tough to make that pass work, and right now he's just doing a perfect job of not really pushing his stuff, but he's really just keeping his car in the right spot to where it's so hard for the 73 to get the job done.
I'm watching McWhorter. He's trying to brake later than Jeff Wright and get that run on the entry. It is so difficult to drive off of these corners, especially in turn 2. You want to get to the inside of them, keep that pressure on, but it's all about the entries of these corners because you can't use the throttle as much to drive off as you could in other cars because of the horsepower.
The thing about it was him, I'd tried braking earlier and just turning the car down out of his dirty air, you know, enter high, exit low situation, but he's just not able to make anything work. That little bit of dirty air and also the 48 just putting his car in the right spots is letting him keep this lead, and that's what everyone else is going to have to deal with too. And these two, the 73 and 24, they've really been the only 2 drivers that have been able to even get this close to challenge to 48 so far.
Jeff Wright continuing to lead. Dakota Floyd slowly creeping back into this picture. Last time by, he was matching lap times with Jeff Wright.
And you know, behind them, these top 4 are kind of pulling away because that 5th place car, engine Telganoff, he's still on an older set of tires. Not doing too bad of a job as they're 3 wide for 6th behind him, but he's kind of the cork in the bottle back there. As you can see that 3 wide action. Layman in the middle. That's the 14 of Kibbe on the bottom. And it was Ferrata on the top. They sorted it out. Now the battle's for 7th.
Layman gets really loose off of turn 2. Kibbe cuts him a break there. Doesn't force the issue. Gonna follow and try to go around the 07. Oh, wow.
It's just whoever... These guys are all over the place. It's really a case of who can get by that 3 car first, because they almost had contact. Ferrata really pounded the wall that time, missing the corner, as that's John Sanu just letting the leaders by. He's gone 1 lap down.
If Wright's not out of the woods yet. Here comes the 57 of Floyd now to the inside for 3rd in the background.
And even Turner was struggling. I mean, he was all over the place at the start-finish line. That's how much wheel spin there is.
Aboard with Dakota Floyd. Top spot to start this race. You know you got confidence when you get the pole. Some drivers are good at qualifying. Some drivers are good at long run speed. Some drivers are good at strategy. But Dakota Floyd kind of has a little piece of all of that, and he always finds a way to finish in the top 10. I think we're starting to watch Dakota Floyd evolve to adapt. He raced really well in the Challenger Series, of course. He had 2 championships, but now kind of voluntold to race only the Cup Series. He's performing. He's one of the few that do well every week in both.
I think it was the right time for him to only run the Cup Series. I mean, he's learned a lot in that lower series. Maybe the competition isn't as high, but it's really a series about learning your racecraft, figuring out how to get to the front and how to run up at the front. He's probably the premier driver from that series, how much he has learned and how much pace he has gained. I mean, he was not this fast in his first few starts in the Cup Series, as no one really is. But he's a guy who, from that series, has learned and has started to perform, and there's not really a ladder system this series, but it definitely seems like he graduated from that Challenger Series, and he's ready to fight with the big boys. He's been showing it the last few weeks, really.
You see Spider cars getting a little loose here. 7 car of Jared Skinner. That was tight off of 3. He gets it gathered back up. He came off of 2 sideways, and his teammate got to the inside. Didn't really cut him a break there. He had the faith that he would hold on to it.
Somehow he was able to. I mean, there is not a single car on this racetrack that's handling really good right now. I guarantee you even Jeff Wright isn't handling that well right now, but this is the furthest lead he's had all night. I mean, we get a long run, and he's finally been starting to pull away. Matter of fact, Dakota Floyd started to get that 2nd position. Matter of fact, there was not even much of a fight. McWhorter kind of just pulled over, and right on cue, 57 up the 2nd.
Now it's 9/10 back. Jeff Wright working with the 1 of Tom.
There's a lot of lap traffic for how early in the run this is, but that's how kind of chaotic that restart was.
You got to navigate lap traffic. Jeff Wright probably not happy that he's in this situation, but I held him up for about 3/10.
Tell you what, it doesn't matter where I'm looking in the field. I'm seeing cars all over the place. There's Tom sideways. He saved it. Goodness. You'd almost think everyone's blowing a tire. I mean, we are trying to look about 30 laps into a run, and these guys are already just all over the place. The track temp hasn't gotten lower, so it's not going to get any better for these guys. And this is probably the most chaotic lap traffic Jeff Wright's going to see all season because of how out of whack everyone is. I mean, getting by Brandon Wallace is actually a big deal because he's got at least some clean air before he gets to Phillip Brewer.
And the subtlety of me throwing up graphics, Connor, and you picking up on it every single time, that's what I appreciate about you. Great co-commentary every single week. It's been phenomenal for 5 seasons, 4 different champions here in Saturday Night Racing League. The best that you can have here at VSPEED. Rockingham, shout out to them as well. I'm glad they're back on the schedule, but I don't know that you were there in person. Did it put on this good of a show?
I don't know. If they had these cars, I think it might have. It was fun. There's no doubt.
Boy.
But that 9 car is really off the pace, but this might be the best show right now. The only issue is that I don't know how much longer you could keep up with this because there's so many drivers out of line, wiggling out of the corners, even down the straightaways. We see cars getting sideways. It's only a matter of time before something goes wrong, and the issue with that is we still have one more pit stop at least to make. Drivers can probably make it on fuel to the end from here, but you're not going to see drivers pit under green here. Pitting under green here, you're going to lose a lap, and there's too big of a likelihood for a caution. I think you're going to see a lot of drivers stretch the fuel as far as they can.
That was Ferrata. They got loose again there on the backstretch. Wall riding on the entry of 3, bouncing it everywhere. He's still trying to handle it out of 4.
He tried so hard for so many laps to get by the 3 of Telganov, and I think he really wore his stuff off trying to do that. He's already back to 10th. He's got a few more drivers getting ready to pass behind him. Elliott Butler almost got into the back of Angelo Baronis as Telganov back to 7th. Once again, remember, that 3 car's got older tires than everyone, but he's been able to stay in the top 10 pretty solidly. Seth Hatchell's back up to 8th, even with his right front damage. The 3 and the 8, bumper to bumper. Who would have thought?
Father and son shout back to 2000. Just a
whoa.
Wow, Telganov chasing it everywhere.
He's chasing it. I was looking at Lehman, who almost got into Eddie Trejo. He was chasing his car. I mean, this is nonstop action because everyone's on the verge of wrecking. Every single part of this track.
It's the slogan on the back of the 3 car. That's Rockingham.
I think everyone would say so hard, it's hard. I don't think anyone's having it easy tonight. And he's still, it's not even,
there's one
it's
guy.
definitely one of those, I'm sure there is. I think even he's having issues though. I mean, even I've seen him slide. John Sanu's now in the grass on the front straightaway. He's going to keep it straight, but one thing we probably should have mentioned, Sinu, he might bring out a yellow. He overcorrected in the traffic. Oh, and Christopher Hodges has nowhere to go.
He was in the grass just a moment ago.
Oh.
And he's going to tow to pits.
That is such a shame for the 15. I saw that Bruin. He was on the apron after going through the grass, and then he kind of got caught on the transition to the apron. He was struggling tonight for sure. See, right here, he's going to get it woed up, but right here, he's going to get his right rear on the banking while he's still on the apron. Gets his car sideways, he overcorrects right into all this traffic, and there was nowhere for poor Christopher Hodges to go. Banks did a great job getting by that, but that 15's toast.
On board with Hodges.
The biggest you-know-what moment of the night.
Yeah.
There's just nothing he could do. Tough pill to swallow when a car laps down, kind of gets into you. Whether, obviously, John Sanu didn't mean to do it, but it's a tough mistake to make, and I cannot imagine Christopher Hodges is very happy.
I did co-commentary with Jeff Wright in the Challenger Series. Here's a battle off of pit road, and Floyd's going to win for second. Barely.
I thought he almost had the 48. It was close. I didn't really know who had it. 57 just barely got it though.
I'm gonna rack him back up here. Why don't we pull a driver in here, Connor? Anybody want?
Trying to think. We got gonna get the 1 to green pretty quickly. Chad Klinger's had a up and down night. Let's get his words very quickly because we're going to be 1 to green.
Chad Klinger, it's Bradley Cooper, Connor Horn in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I have a copy.
I know it's been a rough night here so far, but there's still plenty of racing left to be done. And you in the Sherwin-Williams 09 seem to take the challenge of these tracks very well.
Yeah, I do. You got to know how to drive them correctly, how to save tire. I do like that aspect of it, and I do a fairly good job of it. But yeah, it's a tough track, and it's proven that tonight with a lot of wrecks.
Yes, it has. Well, Chad, good luck. I know that we're racking back up double file. We'll see you in just a moment. Hopefully you can get back up there in the top 10.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good broadcast.
Thank you, Connor. That's right, up front. Man, it's tough to get an interview on this racetrack. And Chad, a little bit in that lump there. It's a slump, but he'll get back to it.
He just hasn't been able to really keep track position no matter what he does. Back green, Jeff Wright leads. Bailey Turner goes fourth to second. Not a good restart for Floyd or Joseph McWhorter. Kenny Kibbe's going to try to get into the top 5 here. Whoa, tail got off, sideways. Wow, how'd he save it? That 3-car got a boot from someone. I thought it might have been the 98.
Yeah, I was going to say the 98 was sideways as well.
Couldn't tell if they hit, not 100% sure, but either way, they kept it straight. Chad Klinger just hit the wall pretty good. I'm going to blame us for that. I don't think he got much damage, but it looked like, couldn't tell, maybe he just might have had an issue with the 7.
Rada on the inside for the 20th position. He gets loose, 35 of Banks just in front of him. There's AJ Stravato is actually in 20th and course sideways.
Max Cost, Caleb Weekly's around. Ferrata's got big damage.
75 around as well. Chuck
This is not the
Sweeting.
monster mile, but there is a monster taking a bite out of the competition here. Some right rear damage on the 75, but it didn't look that bad compared to what the 07 looked like. Ferrata might be done. Did not see how this started. I saw Lehman check up, and that kind of checks this pack up. Oh, he boots Josh Adams. And Max Cost gets into him. That spins him. Caleb Weekly got spun unrelated to that, and I think Ferrata ran into Caleb Weekly afterwards.
Even for that mistake, watch this. He's going to lock up the brakes right here.
Whew. That could have been worse.
Ferrata gets damage from that, destroyed on the checkup.
I see turn Caleb Weekly. Looked like Nick Happyack. And then Ferrata just ran into him. Also saw under caution that I think Dakota Floyd, at least from what I heard on iRacing, in the iRacing channels, that Floyd was looking at his phone trying to open Discord and might have gotten into the back of Bailey Turner accidentally. Yeah, that rear bumper kind of looks dinged in. See if it has the damage here. Right rear did kind of look crinkled from that angle, the 24. Might have happened right before that, but I wonder how that'll affect the 24's pace now. Didn't really have many drivers pit that time.
I think I found it right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a big hit. You could see the right rear quarter panel definitely crinkled on that Coca-Cola Monte Carlo. I don't know if it's as bad with the Gen 4s, but the next gen, if you have rear bumper damage, you will not have grip. Yes, he hit it pretty good. Next gen, you just don't have grip if you have rear bumper damage. Your race is over if the rear bumper has damage. Even in the trucks and Xfinity series cars, B-Class and C-Class, you have the rear bumper knocked in, the quarter panel knocked in, you have no grip. You're sliding every part of the racetrack, so I don't know if these cars are the same as that, but if it is, he's going to be in for a rough restart.
It's your previous champion right there on the outside of Jeff Wright. also a champion, season 1. You have McWhorter in this boat. Man, I think the luck has been transferred over to the 35 of Banks as far as previous season champions go. As the rest of them are up here in the top 5. Green flag back underway. We're past the halfway point here on VSPEED. I don't know if we'll get an opportunity outside of this. So let's go ahead and try it. Let's get loud. Presented by FireStorm Racing. That was Get Loud, presented by almost got me from season 2. FireStorm Racing.
Oh, crashed on the back.
That's AJ Stravado in the 33.
Look out. Oh, man. Huge hit. It was Hunter Sr. who came in late. And luck gets worse.
Stravado destroyed.
Like Rob Hamp got a big piece of that. Just one of those starts to the season. All kind of came down. Jared Skinner got a piece. Hunter Sr., I mean, he had so many cars in front of him, they started at the last second. He just ran out of time. There's nothing much Hunter Sr. could do there.
Yeah.
Looked like Hamp kind of got caught in between a crossover and staying to be outside, and then the 33 came together because of that. He comes pretty far down the track. I think he gets loose more than maybe trying a crossover. And you wreck out of 2. That's another thing at Rockingham. You wreck out of 2, and there's really nowhere to go. It closes up so quickly. How about some
Top
split
5,
strategy?
elect to stay out here.
Turner, McWhorter stay out. I think they decided I can't pass him on a track. Got to try something different. So they let Jeff Wright pit. And they had some drivers come with him, like Dakota Floyd, Aronis, Joshua Banks, Chad Klinger, Eddie Trejo. They'll all get track position from doing this. So about the top 7 stay out. Jeff Wright will be on fresh tires in 8th.
So Bailey Turner, for the first time tonight, will lead some laps. Have Joshua Banks back up into the top 5 with this, or rather 6th position, right on the edge of it because of this call.
It's almost crunch time, and we're pretty close. It doesn't feel like we've had that much racing because we have had a decent amount of yellows, but we're closing in on 40 laps to go. These guys can't have too many tire sets left, but I think that's part of why so many guys stayed out and tried to do something different from the 48. I mean, we have not seen that 48 get passed on track for the race lead all day. So I think all these guys figured if they're going to beat him, they got to do something different.
Back underway, less than 50 to go. Something different. Jeff Wright in the middle, 3 wide.
And Klinger really spun the tires. That really hurt the 48. He's in the middle. Kenny Kibbe squeezing him a little bit there. All able to keep it straight.
This is tight racing in the top 10, 8th position,
Oh!
21.
I think everyone's going to get by him this time. Oh, they're wrecking again. Bryce Shoemaker got spun. .54 and 21 go right now. Get another restart. Like Kibbe got into Trejo. Spun, 54 checks up, and he gets booted by, I believe, Ben Lafter. 64. That's the second boot. Oh gosh, that bumper's really bouncy. That's the second boot the 64 is giving out. Here's the first boot from the 14. He got to the inside of Trejo, 3 wide. It's kind of late to try the inside there. I don't think Trejo was expecting him to try that. And there's the Shoemaker spinning in the aftermath. And 21 has older tires too, so Kibbe's trying to go. I don't think that was the place to try that move. I think wait at the corner, maybe try getting to his inside down the back would be better. There goes the bumper. Whee!
It's unfortunate, though, for a lot of these drivers that have, you put in the practice here, and that's something else that maybe we don't talk about enough here on VSPEED is how much time, the diligence that goes into winning a race here on any league, not just Saturday night, but any series that you would participate in. Connor, we both know that some weeks you put in 200-300 laps a week just to come out and get wrecked halfway through the race.
And to not get more than, 30-40 laps of green flag running is probably tough for a lot of these guys as well. Our longest run was lap 53 to lap 89, so roughly 40 laps. And not getting a green flag pit stop is probably rough for a lot of drivers who make up a lot of time on pit road as well. That's another thing you need to practice. Everyone has to at least prepare a little bit for green flag pit entry, green flag pit exit. And so for that practice to be wasted is probably pretty annoying for a lot of drivers. But you go to a track like this, a car this tough to handle, bound to happen. It is a tough track. It's not like it's an easy track. I mean, Rockingham is probably one of the toughest tracks for a driver to maneuver. I mean, this is one of those tracks where you're racing other cars all the time. in this series, but you're really racing the racetrack first. I mean, you have to figure out the track before you even think about battling around other cars. And it's been a struggle for a lot of drivers tonight.
And it's not over yet. We have just under 40 laps to go as Bailey Turner gets set to take the restart. Your pole sitter, Dakota Floyd, on the outside. Pace car is off. And here we go again. Cup Series for Saturday Night Racing League. Turner got a great jump there. But here we go, just behind him, side by side for second.
And from what I saw in that previous run, I mean, the new tires for the 48 and a few others. Oh, we got a spin. Trejo spun again in turn 3. It's another caution.
It's getting worse for some of these drivers here tonight. We'll back this up. Did he have help?
We were talking about the rear bumpers earlier and how loose it gets when they're damaged. You saw it from that angle, he doesn't even have one. Yeah, it's just, you don't have a rear bumper, you're going to be all over the place. Wow, great job by Caleb Weekly to get by that, but yeah, no rear bumper, you're going to have no grip. That's all that was.
It's on board with Weekly. Watch this.
Brakes! That is not what you want to see. Fortunately, Caleb Weekly's had a lot of people wreck in front of him tonight. He's got his own issues with damage. Gotta say, I'm liking the call to stay out for all those drivers right now. The way it's going. Those top 4 or top 5 able to hang up there.
Well, we're going to take another quick break here on VSPEED. You are watching the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. More coverage will continue. Week number 4 right after this.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Rock and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Well, if you were with us here during that commercial break, you'll remember this part right here of this race.
Anxious boots Dakota Floyd. I believe Chad Klinger booted Andy Telganoff. Lehman involved. Josh Adams hit hard. Elliott Butler, big damage. That one took out a lot of good cars, including our dominant driver of the day, Jeff Wright, got a piece right there. And 3 got plowed by, well, actually, no. Poor Seth Hatchell plowed the 09 in the background. That was the big one, which we've had a lot of wrecks, but that was the big one for sure. That was another instance of you're checking up for the corner, guy in front of you hits the brakes earlier. You're not ready for it. It's going to cause something big.
I'm on board with Banks. I gotta get a look at this.
That's perfect time because I was watching him because he was in the middle. It was kind of a squeeze right here out of 4 with Dakota Floyd. 57 pulls up in front of him. He's just not ready for the 57 to hit the brakes and boots him. Him and Horonis and Kenny Kibbe, they all barely got by without damage. Even the 09 one, I don't know if you'll see in that shot, but right there, he booted Andrew Telganoff. I don't know if this was maybe because of a 35 in reaction. It almost looks simultaneous, like he was trying to get to the top and misjudges it. Yeah. He just tried to get in on the top and the 3 hits the brakes and then he boots him. That takes out a lot of fast cars. Jeff Wright stayed out with that damage though.
Staying out with that damage, so Connor, in your opinion, is that gonna hurt the 48?
Gonna hurt his progress for sure, but I think he figures he can get a better finish holding on the track position instead of pitting to repair it.
We've only had 2 winners so far this season. And one of them right now is leading this race.
Has really shook up the front. Angelo Horonis all of a sudden up into the 2nd position. He might have a shot of getting a victory here. McWhorter's still up there. He got through that somehow. Kibbe as well. Banks came out of it with a clean race car, really. And he's got fresher tires still. Him and the 48 both do, but 48's worse for wear right now.
This is shaking up the field all over the place.
Rob Hamp's almost back into the top 10. Mahalski's up to 8th. He's been in a few incidents. Actually, not even mentioning the 48 and 35. Kenny Kibbe's actually the furthest up on fresh tires in that 4th position. As this is the battle for, I believe, 11th or so with Rob Hamp. 13th, actually. Then Austin Belke's up there, 14th.
Mashinowski on the outside. You got Dakota Floyd, who just got looped around there into turn 1. 3 wide in front of him.
That is tight. 31's kind of out of the groove that you want to be in. Floyd got pinched in there behind him and a 05. Another shame for Floyd. He came down to repair his damaged take tires. Now he's having to climb back through this field after running top 3, top 5 virtually all day.
And then the battle for the top 5. Here comes Kenny Kibbe to the inside. Jeff Wright with his damage, struggling.
He's giving it his all, though. He ain't giving up. Still trying to get these positions away, but I can imagine that he doesn't really have the turning capability in that car anymore because of how damaged the front end is. The fender's knocked in on the right front as well. That's also going to be hurting tire wear, which could really hurt near the end of this race, even on a run this short. But even like we've seen all race, even with the 48 not leading, just anyone who's able to run the middle to high line and run it for defense, it's just so hard to pass on the bottom. Kibbe has the fresher tire to McWhorter, just can't complete that pass.
Ronis with a big run out of 4 and less than 25 to go. It's crunch time now. If you're a driver that favors this racetrack, you're going to rise to the occasion. And Angelo Horonis, don't make me a liar. I said we were going to have a new winner in Victory Lane. It could be 2-2 for the season so far.
He's just got to figure out a way to either loosen up the 24, maybe get to his outside. I just don't see him making that pass on the bottom of the racetrack. With Turner, I think, trying to keep his tires on the car, just running the bottom because Horonis is not really in a position to challenge, and Horonis isn't in a position to get challenged because of that battle for third going on right now.
Just plenty of laps to size it up, but if you want to take a stab at the lead, it's going to happen here very soon. You probably would want to take the inside line based off what we're seeing. Connor, what's your opinion?
I don't know what you need to do to get to the 24. I know you got to get by the 73. I think you got 3 guys up there that have fresher tires that can't do anything because McWhorter's just keeping a pretty wheel on that in the middle of the racetrack. He's just keeping it dead in the middle, and there's not much you can do about it besides boot him. We've already seen the boot be used by that 35 and the 14 already tonight, but you can't really get away with it without getting a lot of penalty points. But I don't know any other way you can do it. I mean, that 73 holding a fine line. It's hard to pass on the bottom. You can't get to his right rear. You might have to rough him up a little bit. If you get to his inside, you just kind of have to gradually drive him up the racetrack, I think.
If Wright falls back to 6th spot, top 10 kind of splits off from the rest of this field. Here's a look at Chuck Sweeting, the battle for 11th.
Well, Banks had a good run there. Oh, he almost booted the 73. I'm more focused on that because Banks is really driving it in hard to these corners. But that battle goes from 3rd all the way back to Chuck Sweeting. He's in a battle with Philip Brewer for the 10th position. That goes all the way back to the 0-5.
Banks loose off of turn 2. A lot of pucker up moments here for the top 5.
Well, Turner's just doing everything he needs to do, keeping the track position, not letting Horonis get any challenge to the back bumper of that 24. Just wonder when the patience runs out for either Kibbe or Banks. It's almost like old school Bristol, the way they're running 1 and 2 right now. I mean, everyone's on the top side, 3rd to 11th. Looked like we had some sort of spin on the back. Might have been Bryce Shoemaker, but still all clear. Oh yeah, he had a low moment. This is the furthest up Kibbe's been on the 73. If I'm him, I'm just moving the 73 up the track with my right side door, but fair to him, he didn't need to. He didn't need to drive dirty like me. He's got 3rd.
Now the 35 of Banks is in that picture, and the 3 wide here into turn 1. Mahalski very aggressive in the late race.
See if McWhorter starts to fade now. He's got more dirty air on the nose, but you can see how much he was holding up Kenny Kibbe. I mean, Kibbe, that 14 left him as soon as he got by. He's already up to the bumper of Horonis. I mean, that time by, he was a lot faster than the leaders.
Riding on board with Noah Mahalski in the 03. Started in 33rd right now. He is your Clark Print Shop biggest mover of the race. 25 spots gained.
Crash, Lehman Sweeting, Philip Brewer. No caution. Brewer's off the racing surface. I don't think it's going to be a yellow unless he pulls it back into traffic. Looks like we're going to keep it green. And Kibbe, meanwhile, he's gotten clear for second. Contact, little checkup. Just kind of gets in the back of Chuck Sweeting. Another one of those stack-ups entering the corner. We've seen that 4 or 5 times tonight. Yeah, just another stack-up. I mean, there's all sorts of sparks and smoke. You didn't know what was happening, and eventually they all stopped. 10 laps to go. Kibbe's gotten to second. Remember, he has the fresher tires. That time by, he was 2/10 faster than Bailey Turner. This is not over.
Turner's going to have to try to hold off the 14 in about 5 laps here. I think he's going to be all over the back bumper in just a moment.
Tell you what, that's going to be a tall task with how quickly he caught him once he got by the 73 and 29. He's got a lot of work to do.
If there's anybody you would want to put in this situation, though, this is one of those clutch race moments. I think I picked the 24 for it.
Him and the 48, probably the 2 best drivers in the series, are ironically, or funny enough, the 2 best when it comes to defense. But Kibbe might be one of the more hungry drivers in the series. I mean, he's had some close calls, he's had some 3rd place finishes, but he's never been this close to victory, and he's trying to figure out how to get around this 24. He's going in every single different line he possibly can, avoiding his dirty air best he can. And whatever Bailey Turner's got left tire-wise, he's trying to use it right now.
And for 5 to go, I think I would pick my own line. I would run what I'm doing every single lap. You can see Kibbe through 3 and 4. He picked what he was comfortable with. I run my line and see if it's going to be better than the guy in front of me. Right here in the 1, look at that.
He is better in center. Is he going to be better exit? He's pretty good on exit. Not close enough to really get to the bumper, but he's right there. Now he's going to go to the top.
This is the moment for Kenny Kibbe.
Turner's kind of shading down the track, blocking him a little bit. 5 to go next time by. Meanwhile, Horonis is really faded. Looks like McWhorter might get 3rd back. But he is right on the bumper. And any clean air the 24 gives him to the bottom, he's going to take it. He's right on the bumper, trying to get him loosened up, but that was a good exit from the 24, but a little sideways.
It's just such a cluster back here for 3rd position.
I don't think either of these two want that to end badly. They want this to end, you know, under green. And they're going to have some lap traffic to deal with. Philip Brewer, Chad Klinger, even Caleb Weekley's going to be on track. There was almost contact for the lead right there. Kibbe thought he had to look to the inside, but the door got shut right at the last moment. 4 to go. Kibbe lost some ground.
Turner really chopped the entry of 3 there to keep Kibbe down low.
Oh, we got a crash. Turn 2, and the caution's out. It was Donnie Kite, and it's a green-white checkered. Oh, my goodness. Now what do you do?
I think you back it into the pit barrels.
Caleb Weekley just came off a pit lane, too. It's another one that hasn't had a good night. Donnie Kite's been involved in a few things. This is really going to split the field on strategy. You might see some drivers stay out.
Or hamp into the wall.
And Kite had nowhere to go, neither did Belke. And now, who does what on pit road? As that's the second time Kite's backed it.
Yeah.
Turner pit. Kibbe stayed out. Mahalski stayed out. Oh boy. Definitely got some drivers trying to do it with no tires. James Lehman stays out. He's got fresher tires than those two ahead of him, I believe, as does Dakota Floyd. Now who takes 2 tires? Because that's something you have to deal with.
Interesting.
Oh boy. It always comes down to this, doesn't it? Looks like Turner's on 2 tires. And it does not look like anyone joined him, really. I think everyone else took 4. I think Jeff Wright took 2, however. He took 2 tires.
A lot of different tire strategies up here.
Aronis
With
took
43.
2.
You got 43 laps for Kenny Kibbe and Noah Mahalski. James Lehman, 29 laps. Dakota Floyd, 29 laps. Spelke and Hamp back on that 43. Look at Josh Adams, Bailey Turner. That's the line right there. The 7th, 8th position with new tires. But that's 2
Adams,
tires.
Well, Adams stayed out for sure. Skinner stayed out. He's actually going to. He's actually not on the lead lap, so he's fading back. But now you got the 24, the 29, and the 48. They're all on 2 tires. I think everyone else behind them's on 4. I like staying out if you only get the 1 attempt at a green-white checkered. If we don't get to the white flag, I think all these guys are in a little bit of trouble. And you gotta. I mean, we've seen wheel spin bad even on fresh tires. I can't imagine what it's going to be like for Kibbe and Mahalski on the front row.
They're the control cars. They got to keep that in mind. They are controlling this restart.
Kibbe is. Mahalski not so much. He has to be perfect on the door of the 14 if he wants a chance at winning. Because I think out of the guys who did not pit, if Kibbe gets clear, he's going to beat them all.
Here we go. Late race. Caution comes out, puts us into overtime. Rockingham wasn't enough laps for 150. We're going to go 152. Green flag. Back underway.
See Turner trying to get to the middle, trying to go as fast as he can. Goes a Hamps in the wall. Kibbe got a pretty good jump. Oh, he turned Dakota Floyd. He's in the wall hard. Jeff Wright's crash. It's a big one. The 29's almost up and over. So many fast cars wrecked, and we get another restart. Oh my goodness. Turner kind of goes to the middle. Floyd's here.
What happened to Floyd? He checked up way early.
He checked up very early, and then, oh man, 29 and 6, the 4, they all pile drove the 48. Chuck Sweeting's in there, Skinner, Wallace. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, we've been talking about checking up for the corner early, but that was far too early for the 57 to be braking there. And he brakes 24, 48, have nowhere to go.
I'm going to watch it on board with the 24 Bailey Turner, but watch. It just seemed like it was a little early. I mean, the 57's on. I don't know if he just didn't have faith or he got loose.
I don't know.
He got loose. I want to defend Dakota Floyd on this. If we can watch it one more time.
I don't know how Joseph McWhorter got through that. He's back up to 7th. He has on 4 tires, but
I want to show you here 57 on 2 tires.
He's on no tires here, actually. I don't see much movement there.
I think he's letting off the throttle because the car felt loose on the backstretch. It looked like he throttle steers. Watch it one more time.
Either way, there was nothing Bailey Turner could do to react to that. He did everything he could. He got to the middle, got by Hamp and Belke here. And if he gets by Floyd, he's in 4th, fresher tires, white flag.
You see that little bit of a bobble.
Yeah. And Jeff Wright was on his bumper, so if he checked up, he would have been hit even harder. So there's nothing he could do. And Wright just follows him through. It's almost like Turner, I don't know, it's like Turner was expecting Floyd to go low, then he checked up, and there's just no time for all of that. But now we get a pretty good look at all the cars that are destroyed.
Second overtime. We have 3 of them.
They got the fuel for it. How about Joshua Banks? He's 4th all of a sudden, and he's on 4 tires.
He has a real shot at winning this race. Green flag, Kenny Kibbe, command car.
Oh,
Lots of wheel spin up front.
Oh, there they
3
go.
wide, Belky's around.
That's not a yellow yet. They're off track. That might not be a yellow. 3 wide for second. Really tight 3 wide for second. They're going to crash down the back straightaway. James Lehman's on his side down the back stretch. There's still no caution for all this. Banks is going for the lead as we're going to somehow make it to the white flag, the 35, looking for the race victory.
One more time around, and I think Joshua Banks is going to become our new winner.
He's clear. Kibbe has nothing to fight with here, and McWhorter could not get through the traffic in time. How about this? Did not expect this.
Joshua Banks off of turns 3 and 4 is going to get the win out of chaos. Rockingham, week 4, the 35. He tamed it.
1 lap.
He did it.
1 lap, that's all he needed. Holy cow.
And that's been conquered.
Oh boy. Bailey Turner somehow got 3rd out of all that. What a wild finish. And somehow we get our 3rd winner, and it's not the guy any of us expected.
Joshua Banks does it again. Surprise victory for the 35 car, and chaos for the final 6 laps. We extended this race 6 laps here tonight, Connor. It was complete chaos. But we have post-race interviews with our top 3, those final race results, in just a moment. You are watching the Saturday Night Racing League live on VSPEED. Back with more right after this.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Back here live. Well, actually, we hit the up next. That is not where we are next. Let's go back to Rockingham. It's one of the Carolinas, though, Connor.
Close enough, I suppose.
We got to wrap this up here at Rockingham. Thunder Alley. Overtime here tonight for Saturday Night Racing League, and it's Joshua Banks with an unexpected victory, but Connor, I said in the pre-race we're going to find a new name up here in Victory Lane for this season. All the way up to the very end, I thought I was wrong. We had Bailey Turner and Jeff Wright dominating this race. Nobody else really had anything for him.
Yeah, I mean, that 48 was dominant. They had the one cycle of stops under yellow where the 24, 73, pretty much everyone who was stuck behind Jeff Wright stayed out, got the track position, and that was going to end up being the difference. 48 ended up getting some damage. We thought maybe Kenny Kibbe on that final run was going to end up getting to the 24. That was going to be a heck of a finish. The caution comes out. The strategy is thrown out the window. We get 2 attempts at overtime, and Joshua Banks got through the big one on attempt number 1, was able to restart 4th on attempt number 2, and he had the tires just to get enough, get ahead of Kenny Kibbe just in time to get the victory tonight. Stunning victory, definitely stunned the rest of the field, as I'm sure he stunned himself, winning from 17th. McWhorter ended up getting the back of Kibbe into 3 for 2nd. That's what helped Bailey Turner get the 3rd. And then you had Kibbe 4th, Philip Brewer 5th, Max Cost, how about him? We didn't talk about him a lot tonight. He gets 6th, Matt Shinosky 7th, Noah Mahalski 8th, Bryce Shoemaker 9th, Donnie Kite, I believe, brought out the yellow that put us into overtime. He ends up benefiting from it, getting 10th place.
11th position goes back to Brian Chambliss. Chuck Sweeting with top 20 speed, but definitely could have finished in the top 10, just shy of it with 12th. Brandon Wallace 13th. You have James Lehman in 14th position. Dakota Floyd from the pole. Oh man, this one a little sour. I want to say it was a bobble on the backstretch. I don't know exactly for sure, but 15th for the 57. Elliott Butler will finish in 16th position. Angela Horonis will finish back in 17th spot. He was a driver that was challenging before that late race caution. Caleb Weekly 18th, Nick Hapiak 19th, and Ben Lafter in 20th.
Yeah, a lot of guys there that could have finished a lot better. Austin Belkey 21st, he was crashed on that final restart. Chad Klinger 22nd, Jared Shepard 23rd, Rob Hamp 24th. Jeff Wright actually scored 25th, 2 laps down behind the driver, 3 laps down. I'm sure there's scoring errors to get through as well, but he was a dominant driver. He might have led over 100 laps and just did not have it fall his way at the end after the pit cycle. Only 25th for him. Josh Adams, another driver who ran really well, only 26th for him. Jared Skinner 27th, Trejo 28th, Seth Hatchell 29th in his first start of the season, and Andrew Telganoff, he ran at the front a lot tonight, and he only gets 30th.
9 more cars to talk about, with Hunter Sr. 31st position, caught up in a wreck about 2/3 of the way through this race. And then you have AJ Stravato also involved in that. Nathan Ferrata, who did well at Auto Club, finishing 33rd here tonight at Rockingham. Chris Hodges, heavy damage. Johnson New, a multitude of problems for the 86. Then you have 36th position with Tom. And honestly, yeah, the scoring issues, we have some of these guys that are a little bit out of order. These are unofficial results, though, as you have Bryce Palusa in 37th position, Reggie Ortega early exit, and then Keith Shoemaker right next to him, caught up at the very beginning of this race in the 88. But it's time to take you to victory lane. And we have a surprise victory celebration with a driver that's been here before, a champion here at Saturday Night Racing League. Season 3 champion Connor Horn has caught up with the driver Joshua Banks in victory lane. Connor Horn, take it away.
And I have Banks, like you said. I'm sure he was expecting to be here, as everyone else was. Jokes aside, Joshua, you're trying to conquer the rock, and somehow you did it. Not the way you anticipated doing it, but you led one of 156, and you needed those extra 6 to get there. Crazy finish, obviously. How in the world did that work out for you?
I don't know. I thought we were going to have a bad night because the night was just not going the way I thought it was going to go. I mean, got wrecked early on and had to go to the back, get damage fixed, and we were fighting to get track position back, and fighting getting damage fixed too. So it's just hard fighting through all that, and this track just kicking my butt. I don't know what I was doing differently, but tires were not a thing for me apparently to work through the field. But anyway, I think anybody couldn't really pass anyway though, so it was just very tough to pass. So I don't know, Connor. When I got through that final wreck and realized I had the freshest tires, I was just like, there is a whole, I don't know what the word it is, left me speechless, honestly. So we somehow made it to get here. Not the way I like to go. I like to be up front the whole race, particularly if I'm going to win one of these races, but happy to be in victory lane, actually. So it feels good.
I'm sure it does feel good, and I'm sure you're still processing it as well. I think we all are after everything that happened in those final 2 laps. But you talked about the track position, you didn't have it a lot, and then, like you said, the final restart, you restarted maybe 7th or 8th, somewhere around there. You get through the wreck, whichever was in, you come out 4th, with the only one on 4 tires really in the top 5, and all you had to do was get through there. But I think you were mentioning it, but how nervous were you for that final restart, knowing you kind of all you had to do was run the track and get by the guys on older tires, but that's also not a foregone conclusion that that's going to happen with all the crashes we had.
Exactly. It's been a lot of crashes. I know I made one mistake on one of the cautions, but which Dakota and I have talked about already before getting in here. So that one's cleared out, but all the wrecks that have been happening, all the things that, that just people I think might have more spatial awareness, and it's just, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think people say it's the car. I don't think it's a car situation, and I might, ruffle some feathers on that one. But I think we could probably work on some things driving wise and awareness wise, and that might clean things up. But I thought the race was over when we were in the back most of the race, when we got wrecked and everything. And I wouldn't say completely over, but we were going to do our best to get back. But it just, the wrecks kept going and just had to keep it clean. And one of the guys in the race was calling me out. He's like, let me go. And he's like, yeah, I'm just out here trying to survive. And I'm like, yep, that's pretty much what this race is, survival. So we did it. We won it, and very happy about it.
We definitely survived it, I think, better than most did at the end. So Banksy, the iRacer, you came out on top tonight. So shout out to that. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out? It's another thing to mention before you shout out everyone. On your stream, you had people telling you to shout out your team before you even got to turn 3. That's a good feeling, I bet.
Yeah. I got to thank everybody, Team Bailey, AJ, and Angelo, man. We've been clicking really good together as a team with this league. And, I know AJ's been having a lot of struggles and a lot of bad luck with his season and seasons, I should say. So hopefully he gets this thing turned around maybe. And but everybody else, man, we've been working good. Just need to get good finishes, and hopefully this kick starts. I know Bailey and Angela got wrecked, but they were running great up front, and so we just hope they continue that. So shout out to them, and shout out to the admins of the league, everybody up there doing what they do. You guys up in the booth for what you do with the broadcasting. Thank you guys for what you do with that. I know this was probably one of those up and down moments where, oh, we got right. No, we ain't got racing. Oh, we ain't got racing. So, and then in the end, the shock factor of how this one ended up at the decibels were pretty good on that one as well. So, pretty sure y'all had some interesting words for that. So, thank you guys for doing what you do. And the sponsors, all the ones on board for this season. You know, I haven't been in the booth in so long, guys, that I don't know sponsors other than myself, because obviously I sponsor the league. So M&J Distributors, thank you for coming on, and all our other partners and joining in and helping this league get going. So appreciate the continued support with that.
Well, the ultimate survivor tonight was you, Bud. Congratulations on the victory. Got a off week next week. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I believe we are at Charlotte in 2 weeks, so we'll see you there. And once again, congratulations. Thanks for talking
All right,
to us.
buddy. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
There is a shot of James Lehman going up in the air right behind. That is unfortunate for James Lehman. I mean, if you look at where he finished 14th. How would you suspect that he did that across the nose of the 03? He actually rode the roof.
I don't think Mahalski's with us anymore looking at that shot, but it was unfortunate. And that Banks, you saw how close the Banks was to that. I mean, he could have easily been hooked in that and probably would have been a caution if he got hooked, but everything stayed green. I think that played a huge factor in him winning, because if you get that third green white checkered and, you know, Kibby gets to jump on the restart and they crash immediately, Kibby's the winner. So somehow all this chaos, it stayed green, and that was key for Banks, I think.
Well, we're going to move on to our second place finisher now. We're going to pull up Joseph McWhorter in the number 73. Is this finally the moment that the slump stops? I got to ask Joseph, because the next gen car was not kind to you at all. You come off of a championship and then just drive a car that you hate, and you were miserable for probably 99% of the season. Now you come to Rockingham, which is a track that's 99% miserable for everyone, and you get a top 3.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that we were kind of getting back into it. We had that bad race at Daytona, but we finished, runner up at Las Vegas. We finished 8th last week, and we come back out with another runner-up finish. So, I'm really glad to be back in this car. It's a lot of fun. It fits my driving style. It's sketchy in the appropriate way. So it's been a lot of fun having this thing back. We've had a lot of speed. Hopefully we still have that speed with the update coming in a couple weeks. So be really curious to see how we do whenever we get off the break and have week 13.
Well, everybody's talking about the update, but here's an update. You guys raced here tonight for 156 laps, and we still didn't know who was going to win this race. You had a real shot at it had the restart gone a little bit different.
Yeah, we just got really unlucky on what lane we restarted on whenever we had that whenever me, Bailey, and everybody came down on pit road. It kind of Bailey and Banks and Jeff all lined up on the top side, and I was just kind of screwed on the bottom. I had to be patient and just kind of weave through traffic, be patient, and then I had a wreck basically in my lap when Jeff and I think it was Dakota Floyd or whoever that wreck was there on going into 3. Like, that wreck was in my lap, and somehow I was able to check up in time, not get ran over from behind and miss it. So, yeah, had the restart played out a little bit different, I think we would have had a shot. It would have been kind of hard to get around Banks, though, so I don't know if we really could have got around him. He was just so quick getting into the corner, and I just didn't have enough time. But I'm just thinking big picture, just keep knocking out these really good finishes, get closer to that points lead, and just, try and put ourselves in as good of a position to try and go chase down another championship. That's what my mind is set on. Wins will be great, but if we can just put ourselves in the right spot and just keep being consistent, I want to be a threat again.
Well, you're a part of the group that maybe we haven't mentioned that could be the second winner, or the first second time winner of the championship here at Saturday Night Racing League with 4 different champions. Joseph, there's no reason with what you said there, this car fitting your driving style and the way that everything is falling into place now very early into the season, that you couldn't get that done.
Yeah, and I mean we've already had a runner-up finish in the old version of this car in season 1. We finished second to Jeff, so and we knocked out a couple of wins there, and they came later in the season. So I think as long as I just keep being patient, I'm learning a lot from the league that I'm in on Friday nights, racing against a lot of Coke guys and stuff, and I'm learning a lot about just trying to be more patient, trying to just ride, spend some time learning from the guys in front of me, and just trying to be more consistent. And that's something that I've been trying to work on, and just keep in mind here, and just if I got to just ride behind somebody, don't try and attack them. So that's been something that I've been trying to work on, and so far it's working. We've been aggressive at the right times, and we just need to clean up a little bit of the mistakes, not get a speeding penalty like we did last week at Auto Club, and keep putting ourselves in good spots.
Well, learning, adapting, and overcoming, that's what a season is all about. Joseph McWhorter, I know a lot of people support you. You got Red Camel on the hood. Anybody else you want to shout out while we have you?
Yeah, absolutely. Red Camel Racing's been an amazing partner of mine. They have amazing equipment. Go check them out at redcamelracing.com. Fire suit, shoes, helmets, everything you can think of that you need on race day, go check them out. 29 graphics for the beautiful paint scheme you get to see each and every week. Go see them on Trading Paints, 29graphics.com, or 29 graphics on Trading Paints. Outlier Speed Code, go check out our new website over at outlierspeedcode.com. I don't know if we have any deals going on right now, but you never know. We have surprise deals popping up all the time, and we are hiring for a builder. So if you're looking to, break into the scene of building setups, come put in an application and see if maybe Johnny and the boys can use you. You guys for putting on the broadcast each and every week. Love being on VSPEED. Admins for all the hard work, the drivers for a great race, and ready to take our little break and get into the next race.
Looking forward to next week. Well, actually 2 weeks from now, I think, Connor, if that's correct. And we'll be going on to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Until then, Joseph, stay tracking, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully, we're going to Charlotte. That was my second win in the first season, so maybe we can back that up.
Let's see if you can back it up. Let's go for the 73, another podium finish, and we'll move on to our third place finisher. It's going to be Bailey Turner with no front end. And then number 24, I don't know how Bailey Turner managed to finish this race with no front at all. But you know what? That's probably the best case scenario for this car after its damage. But as many laps as you had there, it was down to you and Jeff Wright.
Yeah, I mean, I had to jump off strategy there. I felt like the only way we were going to beat Jeff tonight was, doing a different tire strat. And, he had actually helped me a few times on restarts, and I felt bad when I kept having to choose, a different lane than he was in, just because of the different tire strategies and the advantage he had. So I had to do everything I could to maintain the lead, and helped get my teammate Angelo there to second. And, yeah, it was just going to be a battle there. Really tried to work on saving my stuff for that long run, and holding off Kenny, who was really on a hard charge there with tires and doing a really good job saving his stuff. It felt like I think I had enough tire left to at least make it very challenging for him. And in SNR fashion, it seems this season we get these late yellows when we're wrecking for last place or wherever it is. So that part has been definitely a little frustrating. And then just that last restart there, second to last restart, rocking with some momentum there, and Dakota was on the top, so I was going to pull to the bottom at the last second, and he yelled at me to take the top, and it was just too late with all the momentum Jeff and I had, and unfortunately wrecked probably half the field and a lot of guys out of deserving finishes. So, but like you said, car was destroyed, and still managed to get a P3, so we'll take that and go on to next week.
I got to ask, and this was from our point of view, did Dakota bobble maybe get loose? Was it an early checkup? It appeared to be a very early checkup on the very first angle that we had on the replay, but what was your take on that?
I mean, he was on really old stuff, so definitely down on momentum, down on speed. And Jeff and I were rocking a lot of momentum, and Dakota, he just yelled at me, "Take the top," and I was already committed to the bottom at that point, and tried to get back up to the top in time, and it was just bad situation with Jeff and I both coming with momentum and Dakota being quite a bit slower, and in reality probably should have just stuck to the bottom and not listened to what he said, but he was trying to get out of our way, and unfortunately, like I said, just a bad situation altogether.
Well, Bailey, I'm glad that you were able to salvage this race. I know a lot of drivers that were up here in the top 5 for a lot of the day didn't have a chance to even say that. And with the front end missing on this car, you were probably the most damaged driver in the top 10. So, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I think, honestly, that was best case scenario with a couple of the other guys taking each other out on the last lap, and Kenny getting loose and from contact with Joseph, and just making the best of a really crappy situation. So just wish we could, we finished well at Daytona, got the win, and we've been right up there each week. Just missing a little bit here or there. Or track position being so important, especially tonight. Like, you could not pass the leader if you tried, unless you had a significant tire advantage. So I think I'm looking forward to this car getting an update and kind of seeing where things go from there. But just I think I was talking to Josh. I think we've been rocking with the points lead since Daytona of last season, and I thought for sure Jeff was going to take that tonight. But I think that's my target, is see if we can maintain that points lead through the rest of the season, put together a solid year, and I don't think it'll be nearly what it was last year, but put ourselves in a good position for the playoffs.
Trying to go back to back. Bailey Turner, I know a lot of people are in your group. Go ahead and shout those people out while we have you up here.
Yeah, of course. You got Angelo, AJ, poor guy. I mean, both of those two ran, great races. AJ, of course, this season is just a season from hell for him. But Angelo really putting a really great race, was going to finish, top 3, and got caught up in that wreck. And of course, Josh, frenemies from the past. We've really, I think, now that we're in the same channel and we get to BS and work together, it's been great. So that's been fun. Shout out to him for the win. Shout out to all the admins and all the league sponsors, everybody that helps put this thing together. M&J Distributors, everybody else, and of course you guys over at VSPEED. It's been good getting a chance to talk to you guys each week, and hopefully we can keep that streak going.
It's been a long one since season 4, and you just kept coming up here. So I don't think there's any shortage of you coming up here in the broadcast booth. Congratulations. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Appreciate it.
Bailey Turner, 3rd place and salvaging the day in the number 24. Connor, I don't know how you want to chalk this race up, but there was a lot of asterisks here tonight at Rockingham, and a surprise winner. I wasn't wrong, though. I said it at the beginning. We're going to find a new guy in victory lane. Joshua Banks, our 3rd winner of the season.
I think, for lack of a better term, we'll call it a crapshoot. That's kind of what it felt like. Before we had a lot of yellows at the end, it was Jeff Wright's race to lose. He didn't seem to be that fast until we got on the long run. The one long run we got, he started to pull away and pulled a big gap away from the field, but just had a lot of yellows. It's a tough track. Gen 4, a lot of wheel spin on a track that doesn't have a lot of grip in Rockingham, and it kind of expected to have some cautions, and we definitely had those. And it came down to pit strategy with 50 laps to go and also with 2 laps to go. I mean, Jeff Wright really lost this race by pitting when the 24 and the 57 and everyone stayed out. But, if he stays out, they're all going to pit. But, hindsight 2020, it would have been better, but there's nothing you can do about it. But that's where he really lost the race. And then obviously it's going to be a great battle between Kibbe going for his first win, Bailey Turner going for, I believe, his 2nd on the season. That was going to be crazy. Didn't work out that way. We had the yellow of Donnie Kite, and then at that point, that's where the crapshoot really set in, because then it was got guys on no tires, guys on 2 tires, guys took 4, guys with damage at the front, and it kind of ended how you would expect. We had a lot of destroyed cars, and Joshua Banks conquered the rock in stunning fashion, like we mentioned. I mean, He got through the big wreck on attempt number 1, and he was able to restart in row 2, and that's really all he needed. And he just barely got by James Lehman, who went on his side down the back and did not bring a caution. That was also key to him kind of stealing one here tonight.
We've got more racing coming up here in just a few moments' time. You can catch us here on Saturday Night Racing League at 7:45 p.m. You know, I kind of missed the dates here. I didn't realize. I thought it was the 13th for Charlotte, but it's actually the 20th.
Got NASCAR next Saturday.
Yeah, we got Saturday NASCAR live on USA, I assume?
Probably. It's also, this is our last off week just before you get going. This is our last off week before Thanksgiving. So this is a pretty big 2-month stretch for all these drivers before this week, and this one off week, and then into Charlotte.
Yeah, and the chase starts the day after my birthday at Kansas. So there you go. November 15th, we'll go all the way to Kansas Speedway, but we still have plenty of racing left to be done. It'll be September 20th for Charlotte and Michigan for the Challenger Series. But for Connor Ford, Adam Baker, and everybody else here at VSPEED, our co-owners Eddie Smith and Morgan Cook, this is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Rockingham. We've wrapped it up for week number 4 for Saturday Night Racing League. Stay tracking, everybody.